I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a cultural issue or if it's a gender issue, but we have a blatant problem in law enforcement. And you guys just back the blue, right? You sit at your homes and you're all watching your social media. And I back the blue no matter what until it comes time for a call to service or an emergency to your house, right? But not in Clarksdale, Mississippi. In Clarksdale, Mississippi, the cops are too damn busy and inconvenienced to wind up taking your call, or so it seems. Officer Coleman, let's have a conversation about your dedication to service. Now, something to keep in mind, Clarksdale, Mississippi has a population of 14,000 people. So that means that if you're in, and remember, I know, and from experience, that the smaller agency police do far more work than big city cops. Big city cops get a shots fired call, they show up, 50 of them, they stand around and drink coffee. You guys do not seem to get that the suburban cop from agencies like this fucking hump their entire shift nonstop, especially when the warmer months come into play, right? So this is the population. I can guarantee you, maybe they run 3 is their minimum. Maybe on midnights, maybe 2. And if it's a bordering agency, they will run 2 based on how much their town can afford and hope that either county or a neighboring agency can help support if they have a call, right? So that's going to mean, if it's 3, that means if 2 go to a domestic, that means you have 1 officer on the street left. And if that officer pulls a traffic stop or is forced to, DUI or something, you have no cops on the street then. So I want you to keep that in mind, because a lot of you just don't know how small agencies work and how it affects you when you need them. Now, we need to look at this for a second. This is from an article from just last year that said the Clarksdale current or former police chief is set to resign. Look at that, the third paragraph. It flat out says that Clarksdale has seen a spike in crimes this year, with the city recently reporting its 19th murder of the year. 19 murders in a town of 14,000. Put that into perspective. Now you have to look at how many are they running. Maybe they have 2 or 3 detectives. Let's be generous and say 4. 19 murders, now on top of sex assaults, on top of property thefts, on top of residential burglaries. I don't know what the business is like. How overworked is that staff? Now this may be petty to you as the viewer, right? Because you still think cops need to have fun, all this stuff, until it comes down where it's your turn to have something important to you in that town, in that city where the police need to serve you. I want you to talk or think about this for a second when it comes to your law enforcement and what they're doing versus what they're perceived about doing on social media. Now, part of me couldn't care less that on or off duty or whatever, Officer Coleman is filming a video showcasing who she is, right? She's a big girl. She got the job. She's now a police officer. I mean, we saw it. She's 23 years old. 23 years old, so we already know that's a child still. Her brain isn't fully formed. But keep in mind the perspective of the criminal element in that town and what your officers are doing. Now, I know you might think this is not a big deal, but let's explore further. Now, if there's one thing I can't stand, that's hypocrisy. So here we have Officer Coleman on duty in her squad car operating a motor vehicle while distracted driving from her electronic device, something I bet you that she has pulled other people over for. And if you're an enterprising defense attorney in the Clarksville area, this might be a good time to actually take this, video record it, screenshot it as evidence, and then go after every one of the Clarksville Police Department's officers who have done or written for this crime. Because you know what? If the mayors aren't going to make a difference, if the police chiefs aren't going to make a difference, it's time that people start going after the police department's pockets so the citizens will be outraged and maybe these fucking TikTok children will be pushed out of the profession. But let's move on. One of my favorite sayings that people hate is perception is reality. And Mayor Espy and Chief Ramirez, I'm going to ask this to both of you. Chief, this falls on your shoulders and you're going to have to answer to the mayor who answers to the people. But if the saying perception is reality has validity, and it does, we know that the person who has a dog barking at 2 o'clock in the morning next door to them while they're trying to sleep and get ready for work, it's a petty bullshit issue to me. It's a petty bullshit to a lot of other people, but it's not a petty issue to them, and it's important to them, and they require the police to actually take the call as an anonymous complainant, go over to the neighbor, knock on the door, and say, hey, your dog's barking outside, shut it up, or I'm going to give you a ticket. Right? We know you have 19 people murdered in your town. It doesn't matter if those people who were murdered, if like half of them were shitbag criminals. It's still important to the families of those people. You've got property crime, slash tires, residential burglaries. It doesn't matter what it is, right? And I could say over and over again the calls that we've all gone on. You get You get the person who calls 911 because their neighbor damaged their fence. And you go over, and that fence was 50 years old. It was a chain link, rusted out fence that was being held up by fucking a patch of graded bladed grass. And a stiff wind could have blew it over, but it was their issue and it was important to them. That being said, I want to offer this as evidence of your police officers being given too much rope and that they're going to hang themselves and you guys are going to take that flack. Explain to me. I want you to explain this from Officer Coleman, her attitude while being active on the job. And don't fucking sum it up as just saying, well, she's on break and she could do what she wants. Listen to her own words.
Hey, girl. So we are a bit busy. So I'm going to try to make this short, simple, and sweet, okay?
I'm 17 to be in route with. So they do.
Okay.
43 science chat, baby. Also, show me 1013.
Copy. Okay. Running and cardio should still be one of your main things you need to work on, as well as push-ups, as well as sit-ups, as well as crunches, all the above, mountain climbers, all of that, because you will be doing that. Prepare yourself mentally to be pushed above your abilities, being pushed past your abilities, being pushed past things you thought you'll never be able to do. Just prepare yourself, because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be new to you. We're adults, you know, people yelling at you, screaming at you, people doing stuff all over again, causing people, I'm sorry, let me say this clearly. People doing things that are silly
What did you advise again?
that you feel, oh my gosh. We're going to try this again. So as I was saying, yeah, just be prepared to be pushed mentally. And I'm going to leave that at that. However that resonates. I don't have time to...
Who was who called about the juvenile interview?
Hey, we're going to try this again, sweetie. So, yeah, academics. We're going to get straight to academics. So, yeah. You will have a practical at the end of every subject you have ever learned, from SSGT, which is hand-on combatives, to driver's week, to OC, everything under the book. So don't really, just pay attention. Don't really stress out about academics. You won't have too much time to study, but you will have time to study. If you get sleepy in class, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Don't go to sleep for the sake of your peers and yourself. Thank me later. But test-wise, pay attention. Have fun. Pray. Never think that you're bigger and better than the program. And the program is just simply getting your certification. Put yourself to the side. And I'm trying to touch up on that situation when I said adults doing crazy things that you think adults shouldn't do, that will get you in trouble. Mind over matter. Even with your physical and academics. Always remember, mind over matter. Also remember, pain is a temporary thing. You'll get past it. Can't hurt forever. I know you didn't ask me for all of this, but I'm touching on it. If you want to study for things that may be lengthy, rules of the road. Rules of the road. Practice on that. Study that, rather. Yeah. But girl, you got this. You got this.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately speaking, Mayor, Chief, what the fuck do your cops do? It blows me away. She did a 3.5-minute video on duty, which probably took her an hour to film and edit and put up online. All while what? She openly admits that calls are holding. So anybody who's ever done this job for a small agency knows, what the fuck was she doing? How many calls were backed up that night? How many pending investigations were on? How many guys were down paper and they just wanted a break and said, hey, can you take the calls while I actually catch up on my paperwork? She clearly showed no interest in being the police that night and more interest in being a social media persona. What would have happened if a citizen interrupted her? You saw her attitude. She was annoyed at the radio traffic, which A, bodes the question, can she be trusted as a backup for other officers when they're screaming for help on the fucking radio? And then as a citizen, if a citizen came across her, is that citizen, are they safe? Or is she going to wind up snapping at them for interrupting her social media time? There are so many issues with this that if you're a cop, you could see. Personally, if you're a coworker of Officer Coleman, I wouldn't fucking trust her for backup any further than I can throw her. It's absolutely disgusting, her display of lack of concern for her job when she openly admits how busy you guys were that night. That being said, Chief and Mayor, I hope you keep the comment section open. I hope you guys are not afraid to discipline somebody for violating your policy because they're black and a female. But I can guarantee you, if we allow this unaddressed behavior to continue in law enforcement, under the heading of 30 by 30 or DEI, the citizens, like the ones who are in Clarksdale, Mississippi, are going to suffer. And those are the ones who are going to wind up reaping the benefits of shit cops out there. This agenda is going to destroy America. And we're seeing it happen right now in Clarksdale, Mississippi.